Hey, what's going on, you guys? So welcome to another episode of Catfish. And you know, we love us some catfish, y'all. So shout outs real quick for those who commented on the last video. Shout out to Jacob Williams, who said she's from his hood. And also shout out to the real Capri, who was like that. I think she went to school with you too, right? You was like, she's from your hometown. That's crazy. That chick from last week, she was doing the most. I mean, talk about fight for your family, right? All right, so this week we're talking about Alante and Nevaeh. So Alante, he's been in an off and on again relationship with a female named Nevaeh, and it's been about 8 years. So supposedly she's the woman of his dreams. They even talking about getting hitched, going to Vegas, and getting married. So he's like in this like pretty deep. But he was like that sometimes she goes away for like weeks at a time or months at a time, doesn't talk to him, and it's like, you know, what's up? And then she comes back on like she ain't never left. You know, like there was no pause for months or weeks on end at all. Like we was just talking yesterday. Like, nah, bro, you gonna have to explain what's going on. Like, I could not accept that. Like, me, the person that I am, I mean, maybe he was just so, like, caring or, I don't know, so desperate for love. Because sometimes when you're desperate for love, like, you'll allow things to go on that you shouldn't allow to go on. You'll allow people to be in your life that you shouldn't allow to be in your life. So, I'm feeling like maybe that's what happened with him, because I don't see how the hell you could allow somebody to be gone for like a week or a month at a time. You talking about you in a relationship with them and they just blow it off like it was nothing. Like, I'm back. Who does that? Not on my watch. Anyway, so then when they call him, he says that he knew her since he was a senior in high school. Now he's a grown up. So because they was wondering, like, why is it that they never really, like, met up? I think he's from Detroit or something like that. She's from Michigan. So it's like, what happened? Like, you know, why y'all haven't met up since in all this time? But, you know, Neve did make, I think it was it Neve? I think it was Neve that made a good point. He was just like, when you're in high school, you can't really just get up and leave a lot of times, which is true. Like, my young kid talking about I'm going to meet some stranger. Like, I wish you would. I don't care if you're 17, 16. You ain't going to meet no stranger from the internet. You crazy? So, he said that he sat in the mall for like 2 hours waiting for her, and she never showed up. I mean, me, once again, like, sitting in the mall for 2 hours, I mean, and they didn't show up at all? That's crazy. And, yeah, that's crazy. So, he said that he drops like real people that he's in a relationship with for this person. Like, he was talking to somebody one time, like a real life human being that he could touch, feel, get his goodies on, you know, do all that good stuff with. And he dropped her for this Nevaeh chick when Nevaeh popped back up. And I'm just like, really? Damn. Like, did you even get the goodies? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, from the way he's talking, he said there was nobody really in his life. I'm like, out of all these years, so what have you been doing? Like, have you been celibate all these years? Well, I guess that's how his child was created, because he said that his child was created from a bar night, but it was a blessing at the end of the day, and they have a mutual understanding. So she's only sent him about like maybe 8 or 9 pictures in 8 years. I'm like, what? Like, me and my birthday, we share pictures all the time. Like, I couldn't imagine sharing like only 9 pictures in 8 years. Like, for that, go check out my, how you be like, go check out my Instagram if you want to see pictures. Just look at my Instagram page. That's what I do to strangers. Like, you want to see pictures? Go check out my Instagram. All the pictures are there that you're ever going to see there, because, yeah, I'm not doing any, like, porn pics or anything like that. So if you want to see pictures, here's my Instagram, Samore's World. Go check it out. So here, they went and they did, like, the Google search, and they did find a photo, and the photo that popped up for that person that he had, she's a blogger. She's from Brooklyn in New York. So it's not looking like that's the right person. It's looking like it's a catfish. This person got 13,000 subscribers. She's like official somebody else. You know, she's not from Sinaloa or wherever the heck this girl was from. So things was not looking too good. So the number that's linked to the woman, her name is Latoya. So they hit up some of their mutual friends that they found through the Facebook that he provided. And they have like 46 mutual friends. They say that this chick, she's hit them up and kind of like friended them. And she's been flirting with them. So it looks like it's not just him, which is, it can hurt. Because like, damn, like I thought we had something real. But I don't know. See, this is the thing. Like, I don't know how people get so invested. I mean, yes, you're talking to this person all the time, but unless we're doing some real, I can see you, we're in the daytime on some, we're talking like this type of thing, like, I couldn't see myself falling in love with a stranger. Like, maybe, perhaps we're doing FaceTime, we're doing, do they do Uvu anymore? Like, whatever they use, the young people use nowadays. iMessage, well, not iMessage, but FaceTime or WhatsApp or whatever, unless we're doing something like that where I can always see you, I know like what's going on. And even then, me having the trust issues that I have, I wouldn't be able to trust this person to fully commit to them and feel like, oh, I'm in a relationship with somebody I met from the internet, but I've never met them in real life, and I don't really know if they have another woman, another relationship, another, you know, like a wife and kids or something like that. Like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not going to be stupid. I mean, not necessarily saying that these people are stupid. Let's backtrack before somebody comes for me like they did before. But just saying, like, I just feel like they're being a little naive or just, like, a little too, like, open. You know, wearing your heart on your sleeve type of thing. So they meet up with him and they tell him everything that they learned about how name came up and how she's attached to this blogger's name. You know, all that stuff we just went over. And the fact that they do have 46 mutual friends, as well as the fact that she's been flirting with all these people. He was just like, he never really paid attention to the fact that they have all these mutual friends together. And he was just like, oh wow, it seems like she's running around here terrorizing guys in the town or whatever. I'm like, terrorizing, like, you know, use the wrong word, bro. Like, terrorizing them, like she's some type of serial killer or something. It's not that serious. So this Latoya chick, she actually does live in Saginaw. It's Saginaw, not Cedar. And she does have 26 mutual friends. So they're like, maybe her name could actually be Latoya. Maybe this is the real person that we're really actually looking for. So Neve and Max, they go ahead and they try to call Nevaeh, and she doesn't respond initially. But then later on, they do get a call from someone else named Ciara. So they're a little skeptical, like maybe Ciara might actually be Nevaeh, or the person who's been pretending to be this Nevaeh. So when they meet up with her, she just seems mad, young, and just she's smirking. She's on some like if y'all ever watch Love and Hip Hop, like the way Kirk looked when Jasmine confronted him with that little smirk on his face. That's the way that I feel like she looked. Like she had like that, like she knew something, but she didn't really want to say it. So they was assuming initially like, okay, are you the person that's doing this? And she's like, no, it's not me. They're like, okay, do you know? She's like, yeah, I know Nevaeh. She was like, I don't know Alante. So they're like, okay, puzzle pieces are coming together, but they still not really trusting her because it's just something is weird about the way she was responding. So she says that she's going to go ahead and call Nevaeh. So she goes to the side, gives a little call right quick, and then she comes back telling them that Nevaeh will meet them and she'll meet them at this certain location. So they go ahead, they're like, you know, they're not really sure what they wanted to, well, they went ahead and they went back to him, to Alante, and told him what they learned. When they told him that, he wants to know what's going on. So they head out to this park, and the body type didn't really look like it was the same chick. So they're like, okay, I guess we can scratch that off. Because they seen her from over in the distance. She was like, her back was turned to them. When they come, it ends up being his freaking god sister that they actually met earlier. And the dude that was there, I don't remember, I didn't really like pay attention to who the dude was, if he was somebody that was related to that to his god sister or not. But he was just making mad stupid jokes. Like, he was actually, like, annoying to me. Like, if I would have met him in real life, I would have been annoyed by him. And I was annoyed by him just watching him. Like, he's like, oh, I hope she could cook. I hope this, I hope that. So I felt like he could have been in on it, too. Like, he probably did know something. So anyways, back to the scene in the park. This Alante comes and he's like, Erica? You gotta be kidding me. Like, he was just annoyed by it. He was hurt. It was like a flood of emotions that came over him all at once. And you could just see it by the way he just, like, kind of walked away. He, like, didn't even want to say anything to her. He's just like, nah, I don't even want to talk to her. Like, I'm done with her right now. So she's all like, what she said? She said that she did this because he wanted to be with her friend and she didn't want to be in the middle of it. And her friend, she told her friend not to be with him. So this was kind of like a lesson to be learned. And they're looking at her like, are you in love with him? She's like, he's my brother. They're like, Neef was like, no, he's not your brother. You guys are not blood related. You know, like, just because you're somebody's god brother, god sister, there's no, like, it would be a little weird, maybe, depending on, but at the end of the day, y'all are just friends. Like, most likely, a lot of times with god brothers, god sisters, it's either best friends that went to church and they were named as a god brother, god sister, but at the end of the day, there's no blood relation. Sometimes it could be a family member that's your god brother, god sister, but it's, yeah, like, you could do something with him if you really wanted to, you know? So, he, like I said, he didn't even want to talk to her. She's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm sorry. Well, did she even apologize? I think she was just like, she didn't mean to do it this way, and she didn't want to, like, they're like, why didn't you just tell him? She's like, she didn't know how to, like, kind of let him down. She wanted to do it gently, not just tell him all at once. And I'm just like, girl, like, you made this guy go through this for 8 years, and you look him in his face every day, and you look Max and Neve in their face and was like, you heard her voice, you know that she's actually a female. Like, somebody like that, you can't even trust them, believe them. Like, I wouldn't even look at her the same after that. Like, maybe we'll be cordial, but as far as us being, you know, close brother, sister, nah, you don't do that to your family. Evidently, she missed that page of the puzzle. You know, that page in the book that says that you're not supposed to do things like that to your family. I can't. So, yeah, they meet up again the next day, and she ends up saying, like, they all talk again, and he's like, you know, why did you do this? And she ends up saying the reason why she really did this. Now she got a new story. I'm like, she done slept on it. She been practicing in the mirror what she was going to say when she get on camera, so that she could have, like, a pity party story and a reason why people should not hate her and kind of feel sorry for her. Like, get out of here. To be honest, I didn't believe neither one of her stories. Like, both of them sound like BS to me. This time, it seemed like it's more of a revenge thing. Before, it was because she was trying to teach a lesson. Like, oh, you can't, she wanted to show her friend that he's not good for her and he would flirt with other girls, this and that. Like, first of all, the girl was mad young. She looked like she was like a teenager, and he's 25. Like, that's rule negative number one. And he said he wasn't even, like, thinking about the girl like that. So for you to keep it up for 8 years and keep him under wraps, knowing how he felt about you being Nevaeh, that was not cool. So then she comes up with a sob story. Oh, she did this because she was talking to his friend and his friend strung her along. He's like, you knew he was stringing you along by the way he acted. Like, why do you need somebody to spell out to you he's stringing you along? Like, if this dude has other girls and you know about the other girls, he's stringing you along. You know what I mean? He's just keeping you there because he wants to get the pum pum. You know what I mean? And you don't have to be a rocket science. You don't need somebody to spell that out for you in order to know that. And she's like, oh, that he was doing that to her for 7 years. They were off and on, and he didn't say anything. So this was her way of kind of like payback. She said when she was Nevaeh, everybody loved her. They wanted to talk to her. They talked about how she's pretty. But when it was her being herself, they was always like, well, you're pretty for a black girl or a dark girl. You're pretty for a short girl. I mean, I'm 4'11", so I know about the whole short thing, you know. But you certain things, like, you can't really let it take over your life. And I guess she got so consumed and so proud of being somebody else that people would praise and people would give compliments to. It's like she lost herself along the way and just wanted to continue to be that person. But the whole thing about you probably was saying mad nasty stuff to him. I can't. Like, I feel like she was probably saying mad nasty stuff to him. You was saying about all this love stuff, this and that. Like, how could you have an outer body experience for 8 years to become this person that is in love with this guy? Like, nah, I feel like somewhere deep down inside, even if she doesn't want to say it on camera, she doesn't want to say it or whatever, she has some type of feelings for this dude, and she wanted to keep him to herself. That's what it seems like, and I don't care what she say, like, that's what it seems like. That's just what it seems like. That's what I'm seeing when I look at the show. And 5 months later, you know, they did the little update and to see how things were. He's back in good graces. Well, she's back in good graces with him. His father recently passed away, so she was kind of there for him. They kind of had to, like, push prides aside and just kind of come together, because he, like, needed somebody, a shoulder to lean on, and she was like, you know what, I'm gonna always be there for you because we were always friends. So it looks like the friendship is back on. Max and Eve were like, friends with benefits, but supposedly no, she's pregnant. Who knows if it's not with his baby? She said it's the postman's baby. Lil Wayne ain't around, so it could be his baby. Maybe that's just a code name, you know. You don't want to say too much, but yeah, so that's pretty much how that story went down. Guys, let me know what you thought about that episode down below. But yeah, like I said, I'm not really, I'm not convinced. Like, she didn't convince me of the reason why she really did this. And yeah, that's just it. Stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.